This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Thursday, the 1st of August. I'm Michael Groff. Temperatures warming up and conditions gradually drying out over the next few days as the monsoon takes a bit of a respite here across south central Arizona. But rain chances should return by late in the weekend and early next week. Let's talk about it first. The almanac from yesterday. Temperatures held down just a bit thanks to the clouds and morning rain. An afternoon high of 97 degrees. The morning low, 76. A trace of rain officially in the bucket at Sky Harbor. We just wrapped up the month of July, so we'll take a look at those climate statistics for you. It tied for the 6th hottest July on record, and I believe we had 9 days with a morning low temperature of 90 degrees or above, so it was toasty. And outside right now, speaking of toasty, here just before 8 a.m., we've got partly cloudy skies in the valley. 86 degrees presently at Sky Harbor, but check out that dew point at 73. Oof. Relative humidity 66%. It's air you can wear out there. The winds are light and the barometer is rising. Temperatures around the area right now mostly in the 80s, but with dew points in the 70s, it feels pretty oppressive. The upper air look across the country, and we've got high pressure here across the southwest, but it's beginning to get nudged off to the east, thanks in part to a trough moving on to the west coast, and that's turning our flow aloft more out of the southwest, and that will serve to dry us out and take our rain chances out of the forecast for a few days. The watch warning map, we have some flash flood watches, a couple of flash flood warnings around Kansas City and some of the adjacent areas this morning. Other watches for parts of Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Northeast Colorado, a heat advisory around Oklahoma City. Convective outlook for today, a risk of severe storms across the western high plains. In Arizona, part of the state in the green, so scattered thunderstorms possible there. I would say our chances of storms, not mathematically zero, but practically so for this afternoon and tonight. All right, taking a peek at the tropics, we still have this wave approaching the Florida coast. It will turn north and eventually start to affect the South Atlantic coast. The chance of development is still pretty small with this feature. What we're more concerned with is what's happening out in the Central Atlantic. This system here has a 70% chance of development, going to undergo some pretty favorable conditions over the next few days. And this is Invest 96L, and the modeling starting to come in on this. The GFS ensemble has this forming and intensifying as it approaches the islands, moving across Puerto Rico, maybe Hispaniola, and eventually starting to turn north as it approaches the Bahamas. But it's still way too early in the game to make any sort of definitive call as to where this thing may go. But this is just something to watch and maybe think about your hurricane preparedness if you live on the East Coast. Meanwhile, out in the central and eastern Pacific, still have two systems out here. First, we'll talk about Hurricane Eric, maximum sustained winds 90 miles per hour, passing south of the Hawaiian Islands over the next 24 to 36 hours. It should be weakening as it does, becoming post-tropical by the weekend and early next week. Behind it, we have Flossie. This system not really all that organized and probably doesn't even become a hurricane, or if it does, only very briefly so. And this may now pass north of the Hawaiian Islands, and that's certainly some good news. Again, it could bring some rain and some wind, but for the most part, it looks like this system will be weakening as well by early next week. All right, closer to home, the precipitation outlook valid through next Thursday morning from the WPC. Rain amounts here in the valley around a half inch. Could see up to 1 to 2 inches of rain for parts of the east central mountains, maybe southeast Arizona, and any one spot during the monsoon can always get more than what's shown here. This represents an average for the next 7 days. We'll get into the details of it now, though, as we take a look at the models. And check it out. This is the GFS, the 06Z run valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at about 18,000 feet. There's our upper ridge sliding off to the east in response to a trough along the west coast. The flow aloft turning more south-southwesterly. So down at the surface, partly cloudy skies. Yes, it will be very humid this morning, but some of that starts to mix out as we go through the day today. Highs this afternoon around 100 to 103, just a few degrees below average. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, lows mainly in the 80s, an isolated shower or storm in the eastern mountains, but we should stay dry. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, warmer, highs getting closer to average, around 104 to 107. And then over the weekend, the ridge intensifies. It starts to move back toward the west, but we should stay dry, at least for Saturday. Isolated mountain storms, though. Highs between about 106 and 109. Same thing on Sunday. The only difference here is maybe a few more showers and storms get going across the rim country and perhaps getting into the south central deserts. Monday, a slight chance of showers and storms in here. Otherwise, most of the activity should, again, be confined to the mountains. High temperatures still on the hot side between about 105 and 109. As we get to Tuesday, a bit more moisture may start to come in as the ridge continues to slide further to the west and the flow aloft turns more squarely out of the south and east. So we'll have those daily chances of late afternoon and evening showers and storms, maybe some blowing dust as well here in the valley, and more or less the same thing for Wednesday. There could be some disturbances that swing around this ridge as well, but it's way too early to pinpoint those mesoscale features this far out. But just know that that's always a possibility. And then going out to a week from today. This is Thursday, the 8th of August, ridging to the east, a potent upper low off the northern California coast. Winds aloft increasing, and that could lead to more active weather here across the southwest with more organized showers and thunderstorms. But we've seen a lot of different looks out here, so hard to pin down any one scenario at this time. And then going out 10 days, this is the end of the forecast period, Saturday the 10th. Ridging being suppressed toward the Gulf Coast in response to the upper low over the Pacific Northwest. More of a southwesterly flow that could dry us out. Taking a look at the QPF coming off of the GFS ensemble through the period, not very promising for rain over the next 10 to 15 days or so. But a few members are being a bit more aggressive. The European is certainly more aggressive on rainfall as well. We'll just have to see. Let's hope next week looks a little bit more active. It's been a pretty lackluster monsoon thus far. Temperatures through the period coming off of the GFS ensemble, highs warming up, and this is kind of what you would expect. Highs more or less between about 102 and 108 every day. Lows mostly in the 80s. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here next Tuesday morning. That's the 6th of August. If you like our videos, be sure to subscribe so that whenever we post a brand new one, you'll get the notifications. Your comments, questions, and suggestions always encouraged as well. Thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. You guys be safe out there, stay cool, and have yourselves a great day and a wonderful weekend.